Are you a new or aspiring author and you're wondering, what is self-publishing? Have you decided to self-publish a book but you don't know where to begin? Are you a traditionally published author who would like to have more creative control over your book? Well, if you are, then keep watching because this video is for you. In my previous two videos, I talked about the differences between traditional publishing, self-publishing, and assisted self-publishing. Today, I'm going to focus specifically on the steps involved in self-publishing a book. I just want to say before we begin that these steps can happen simultaneously or in any different order, so just keep that in mind as we're going through. And I have a list of like 20 steps here, so I just want to say don't panic. At the end of the video, I'm going to have some tips and some resources available to you to help you in your self-publishing journey. Okay, the very first thing and the most important thing you're going to want to do, of course, is to write your book. So just finish your manuscript. Then you're going to put it aside. And you can let it rest for like a couple of weeks, maybe a month. And then if you haven't done this yet, like during the writing process, this would be a good time for you to create your author website, to set up your author accounts on social media, and to start building your email list. Now, once your manuscript has rested for a while, you're going to take it out again and you're going to look at it with fresh eyes. And you're going to self-edit your manuscript. And you're going to want to start with the bigger picture things, the story level and the scene level things. Because you don't want to start with the line editing and end up spending a lot of time editing stuff that's just going to end up being thrown out later. So start with the bigger picture stuff, then work down to the line level stuff. After you've self-edited, you're going to want to send it out to beta readers. And be specific to your beta readers of what you're looking for. And I will talk more about that in a future video about editing. I'll put beta reading in with that and we'll talk more in detail about it. Then you're going to want to revise your book based on your beta readers' feedback. And that cycle could repeat a couple of times depending on how much work you have to do once you get the feedback from the beta readers. Now, some people suggest putting the professional editing part before beta reading, but here's my take on that. If you have a limited budget, editing can be expensive. And the more work that the professional editor has to do on your book, the more expensive it's going to be. So I like to have my work as clean as possible before I send it to a professional editor. So that would mean, of course, getting your beta reading done, editing based on your feedback, cleaning up as best you can, and then sending it to a professional editor. Now, of course, as a self-publisher, you have the final say in what suggestions from your editors that you keep and which you discard. But I want you to think carefully about your editor's suggestions. Don't take their suggestions personally. Remember that it's their job to get your book as good as it can be before you put it out to the public. So don't take things personally and really consider their suggestions before you disregard them. And of course, there might be some valid reasons for disregarding things, like if they've made a comment on a dialect or wording choice, but you've done that for a specific reason. But like I said, just take their suggestions to think about them carefully before you discard them. Once you have your book professionally edited, I say once you have, but it can happen at any time really, hire cover designers, interior formatters, and illustrators if you need them. And I kind of put cover design and interior design together because a lot of times cover designers can do interior formatting as well. In fact, there are some sites that a few years ago offered just cover design that I've recently noticed have offered other services as well, like interior formatting and editing. So a lot of times they can offer more than one service. Once your book is edited and you revise it based on your editor's feedback, then you're going to, then it's ready for formatting. And once the book is formatted and the cover is ready, that's when you're going to want to get the book proofread. Proofreading is one of the last steps because proofreaders can check like typesetting errors and errors on the cover as well. If you haven't done it yet, you're going to want to acquire ISBNs. In Canada, we get those for free. In the US, you buy them from Boker. I'm going to put the links for those two places in the description below. And you're going to want to create and set up your accounts with your distributor or distributors of choice. And I know there's a lot of smaller distributors out there, but I like to deal with the two larger ones, which are Ingram Spark and Amazon. And I use both of them together. And in a future video, I'll talk about why I do that, because if I went into detail about all of these things, this video would be like really long. And then you're going to want to familiarize yourself with your distributor style guide. And Or you can forward the style guide to your cover designer and your interior formatter, because they're going to want to make sure that their final files for the cover and the interior meet the distributor specifications. Then you're going to want to set up pre-sales for your book, promotions, giveaways, that kind of thing, social media ads, if you haven't done it earlier. Planning your book launch actually should come a lot earlier, but if you haven't started that yet, make sure you're doing it now. Once your files are uploaded to your distributor, there's going to be a couple of days of turnaround time. And if you are offering print books, you're not going to want to offer your book for sale as soon as the distributor says, we approve your files. Because you're going to want to actually get a physical copy of your book to proofread yourself, to make sure everything's where it should be, everything looks the way it should, and stuff like that. Then you're going to do a book launch. So a book launch could be things like doing blog tours online. They could be doing author signings. Could be going to like a library to do an author signing. Could be a bigger venue with a lot of authors, book fairs, that kind of thing. These days, of course, a lot of that's going to be online. And then, of course, you're going to want to market and promote your book. And that's going to be something that's ongoing for the life of your book. Now, a lot of authors like me are introverts, which means that the marketing and promotion part is like our least favorite part, and it's the most uncomfortable part. But it is very important. And recently I've kind of changed my thinking about it, because another author said to me, don't think about it like you're selling it something. If you've written a book, it's like you're a baby, and chances are you've written that book because you feel like you have something to offer to the world, like a service or, just something to help the world. But these days with self-publishing, it's so easy to publish a book that the marketplace is flooded with them. And the only way people are going to know to buy yours is if you market it and promote it. So it's really important to do. Now, this might seem like a lot of steps, and it might seem overwhelming for some people, but I want you to remember that you don't have to do it all yourself. So like I mentioned in the previous videos, there are assisted self-publishing companies like Tellwell and Friesen Press who can help you along the way. There are virtual assistants that you can find and hire online. And there are a lot of sites out there that offer different services. If you go to a site like Readsy or Upwork, you can find a lot of the different talent and professionals that you need to get your book done. Sites like Book Design Templates sell interior templates for formatting your book. And they have videos that teach you how to do it. So if you don't want to spend money on a professional formatter, you can use a template that's pre-designed. Also, places like cover designers, there's freelance cover designers. There are lots of different cover design websites. There are even sites now where you can upload your images into a template to make your book cover. But before you do that, I would caution you a little bit, because there are certain things you want to think about when designing covers. And the professional cover designers know what to look out for. So it might be a good idea to work with a cover designer first, and maybe in future, once you've learned more about cover design and what is important to look for, maybe in the future you can use the templates. So remember, there's nothing wrong with outsourcing your work and hiring people to do things for you. You need to think about what's the best use of your time. Is your time better spent writing your next book or marketing and promotion, rather than the other things that you're not really sure about how to do? So you need to think about that. So after all, if you think about large corporations, CEOs don't do all the jobs themselves. They hire people to do jobs that aren't the best use of their time to do. But choosing to write and self-publish a book, you're now basically the CEO of your own author business. And your book is your product. And I know we don't always like to think about our books as products, like they can be thought of as services as well. But you are selling your book. So it's okay to outsource. You have to think about the opportunity cost of doing the steps yourself versus hiring people to do them for you. Now, in the description below, I have put I think a baker's dozen links in there of different sites you can go to find different talent and find different people to do the jobs for you. And sites for ISB in Canada and Bowker and so on. So please take a look at all those links that I have for you below. If you have a question or comment, or you'd like to know about something that maybe I haven't covered here, then please leave a comment in the comment section. If you've liked this video and you found it useful, please give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos about publishing or writing or stories, then please hit subscribe. And if you hit the bell button, you'll be notified the next time a video is posted. Thank you and see you next time. Bye.